So I decided to go back to these. I actually picked these up when they first came out a little bit over a year ago, and I really liked them, but I took them back because I wanted to try some other things out there. I think I tried the Turtle Beaches and the Astro A50s. What were some of the, I tried the Steel series, which are really, really popular right now. And then most recently I did the G933s and really loved them, but I think these have a new home, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, first thing obviously is you're going to get your headphones. They're fairly lightweight, they're not too heavy. Good swivel on them, you know, metal construction. They seem pretty well put together. Next up, all your components are in this little middle section here. First thing you're going to get is your microphone. Next thing is going to be your actual 3.5 millimeter cables. This is going to be your chat cable and stuff that you're going to hook up to your Xbox. You got your optical, which is going to plug into the unit for when you want surround. You got a USB charging cable with micro USB on the other end of it. Other cable is going to be for Xbox hookups, and then you've got your USB connector right here. And that's what you're going to hook the optical into so you can get your surround sound. Like I said, this will work for an Xbox 360, so it's got the smaller jack that will go into an Xbox 360 controller. Stickers, whatever. You've also got some rubber grommets that you can plug into the holes for when you're not using the mic. Other than that, that's it. That's all you get in the box. The thing I like most about these is that you have mic monitoring or active mic monitoring these. So when I've got them plugged up and I'm playing whatever, it doesn't even matter if I don't have the boom plugged in, because most of the time I'm using a desktop mic, but the active monitoring is still on and I can hear myself talk and I'm not having to shout and scream. I can hear things that's going on. If somebody calls me on my phone, I can still hear my phone ring. Some of the other things that I really like on it is you have your volume dial. So if you rotate this guy right here, you can adjust your volume as well as your chat mix. And that's something that's really unique to this headset and something that's really nice. As well as you can mute. These also act as a button, so you can actually mute them by pressing the little button in on it. Same thing with the chat. You can sit there and just tap the button and you can go ahead and mute and unmute the chat. Something that's really kind of handy, especially in a gaming headset. Battery life on them, I've used them for a few days now. I think I'm getting anywhere between 12 to 15. It really kind of depends, obviously, on like the volume that you've got on them. But that's better than the G933s. G933s advertise 12 hours of battery life. I don't think I ever got 12 hours battery life out of them. On a good day, I'd get 9 or 10. But I would start getting the annoying beep saying, hey, like you've got low power and stuff in your headset. Pretty much right at about 7 or 8 hours on a typical day, it would start telling me that like, hey, like you need to charge these up. Haven't had that problem with these so far. Audio quality. So these I think are on par with the G933s. I think the G933s had a little bit better bass. I think it was a little bit cleaner. These are 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, so pretty standard by now in any of your mid-range to high-end gaming headsets. But I kind of wanted to find a balance between a gaming headset and a good set of headphones as far as like audio quality is concerned. There are certain features where I will sacrifice audio quality for convenience or battery life, and I think these ones hit the happy medium and they're a good compromise when it comes to kind of both of those worlds. I did the same thing that I did with the G933s, which is I just hooked up the dongle straight to the computer. I didn't run an optical cable to it or anything like that. I just hooked them straight up, leave them in stereo mode, let Windows handle all the processing, and do the Dolby Atmos headphones for them, and they sound fantastic in that. The only thing is just my preference. Like I like to leave the EQ in the middle position, which is basically just a bass booster. I think it sounded a lot cleaner. I thought that it favored the mids quite a bit. I thought the bass was a little bit tighter. I thought it was a little bit more dramatic, especially for video games. I thought music sounded better through it. So I just left it on that preset because after cycling through the three, honestly, like the middle setting, the number 2 setting on it, which is the bass boost, I thought sounded the best out of all of them. As far as distance with these, I really didn't have too much of an issue. It was approximately about the same as the G933s. I could walk maybe about, I have pretty much a straight line to my kitchen, and it starts to cut out when I get probably about, I would say 15, 20 feet from the computer. It starts to crackle and it starts to break up. But I didn't have any issues when it came time to reconnecting. So as soon as I walked back in the room, it beeped, it was back on, and I could hear sound again. Now, as far as the ear cushions, I do like the sports fabric on the G933s better. I thought it was more comfortable. I thought the depth on them was good. My ears weren't necessarily touching the drivers in them, which is something I didn't really have a problem with in the G933s at all. But I did have that problem when I was using the Steel Series. I wasn't a huge fan of the Arctis for that main reason, is the cushioning, and they fit my head okay and they were fine, but my ear was like right up against the driver, and I think that headset, I wasn't a huge fan of the audio quality on it, just because I thought that it was a little bit harsh. The other problem that I had with the Arctis is if you take them off of your head, you pretty much have to completely take them off and set them down on a table. You can't put them really around your neck. I mean, I guess you could, but they do choke you out a little bit. These don't have as much movement as far as how much they'll swivel as far as the ear cups, but they do lay flat, and you can move your head and you don't really have too much of an issue with it. So I don't necessarily need them to lay all the way flat. I mean, I didn't have any I didn't have any comfort issues out of them when it came to that. I do like the build quality of these. So they are using metal, or they're using aluminum for just like the little rings around the ear cups. The plastic that they use, I thought felt good. The stitching in the headband was really comfortable. I could game on these for several hours and not really have too much of an issue. They do have a little bit of cant in them, so they will angle to your head just slightly. Micro USB charging on them, expandability, and again, that part is made of metal as well. I didn't feel like these were going to fall apart after a certain amount of time. The hinges on them, I mean, you could probably make an argument that the hinges are made of metal, but you could probably make the argument that like maybe eventually you might run into some issues with those. But to be honest with you, I mean, I can see where the cables route, and I don't think I'm gonna have too many issues as far as quality on these. I mean, like, I treat my stuff really nice, but these could probably take a beating. They're not the newest thing on the street, but I still think that they beat everything out. Don't get me wrong, I love the G933, they're great, but they are a huge headphone and they stick out a lot on the sides of your head. These aren't small, but these are much easier to live with than the G933s. Combine that with good sound quality, combine that with really good battery life, with the chat function and volume dials, and I think these just, it's almost not even close. These things take the cake. Only problem I have with these is if you're going to be using them on an Xbox, you still got to use the chat cable. That's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, at least until LucidSound comes out with the LS35X, which they just delayed until September again. You're not going to be able to go completely wireless when it comes to chat and audio with your Xbox, as well as having to hook up an optical cable. Like, not a lot of people are going to want to do that. So I would say for PC and PlayStation, these are kind of a no-brainer for people. For Xbox, it really depends on how much you want to go completely wireless. Other thing I like about this headset is the fact that you can remove the mic off of this. Aesthetically, they made these look like a normal pair of headphones, so you can take the mic off of it and you can wear these on the bus or wherever it is you're going. You can wear them in public and they're not going to look or on the airplane, and you're not going to look crazy with LEDs and blinking crap all over the top of your headset. I would never have taken the G933s out and wore them on an airplane or wore them out in public, just because they do have that really aggressive, crazy gamer headset look. These are still a little bit too bulky on the sides of my head. They're going to be a little bit too hard just because they don't collapse. They're going to be a little bit hard to travel with. I mean, you can find a carrying case for them. It's not going to be such a big deal. But the champ for traveling headphones, and even if you prefer a wired gaming headset, I really honestly don't think that you can do any better than the V-Moda Crossfade Wireless, which I have right here, and you can kind of see these have a much lower profile to them. So when you have them on your head, they fit quite a bit more snug. They're extremely comfortable. You will not beat, I dare you to find a headset that's Bluetooth beats the V-Moda Wireless. You're not gonna find it. These by far are some of the best sounding headphones I have ever used, wired, wireless, whatever. I don't know what they did as far as the programming for the Bluetooth in these things, but they are absolutely incredible. You just have to try them to believe me. But anyway, this isn't about the V-Motives, this is about the LS30s. I definitely recommend these. I definitely recommend checking them out. Like I said, these are gonna be my new daily drivers. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments, and thanks for coming by and watching. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye.